Very good morning to you. It is 7 a.m. Monday, November 17th, 2025. Welcome to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato taking calls at 888-658-0234. Maybe a shower this morning, maybe a rogue flurry, then partly cloudy, windy today. Highs in the mid-40s. Straight to meteorologist Mike Pavetta with a first check of the Garden State forecast. Those rogue flurries will get you every time.
They will. I know, Ken, they will. We're going to start off this morning with a little bit of flurry activity happening just north of Trenton, as you say. Right there, crossing over the Delaware, you see these little lines of blue working across just north of that area. Well, that's allowing for, obviously, a very cold start, very blustery feeling, some winds dragging down some of those lake effect snow showers. Temperatures right now holding in the mid 30s. It's chilly, but factor in that wind, it feels so much colder. 22 degrees cooler than this time yesterday in Toms River. A very chilly feel from Morristown and Newark. So the cold front yesterday did its job and made it feel so much colder. The air is bone dry across New Jersey. There are some of those snow flurries coming across the northern part of the state, some of which even right there trying to move into the capital area. But beyond that, it'll be a gusty and blustery day with those wind gusts on the order of, say, 20 to 25 miles per hour. Later on tonight, we see a little bit of relief, so not as windy of a day tomorrow, with those gusts only up to 20 miles per hour. And throughout the middle of the week, it just stays chilly with temperatures running about 5 to 10 degrees below average. The Futurecast bringing back plenty of sunshine today, but it's not going to warm us up. It'll stay chilly right through tomorrow morning, even this evening, 10 p.m. You see we're down in the 20s for actual air temperatures tomorrow. Brings back some clouds, maybe a few sprinkles by tomorrow evening, south of the Atlantic City Expressway, and even maybe as far north as 195. I think the rain that you saw there flash on the screen really doesn't make it to the ground. It's so short-lived. Then the air is too dry. But beyond that, for Wednesday, we look a little bit drier by the afternoon, and temperatures again holding in the 40s. We should be in the 50s for this week in November, but instead feeling chilly right through the end of the work week into Thursday. As we take it through the middle of the week, you see temperatures struggling to leave the 40s each and every day, starting on the 30s. So this is a chilly period, Ken, as we enter the week before Thanksgiving with a really chilly feel, but seasonably cool, even unseasonably chilly going forward for at least the next few days.
You know, the way I look at it, every season is a real chilly season. Just thinking of the food. All right, Mike, help me out here. I gotta reset my equipment. You give me a second, right? There we go.
Okay.
So let me ask you something. Yesterday, when it was like it said it was 46 on my thermometer in my car,
Sure.
yet when the wind was blowing, it felt like it was about 14 below zero. So is that wind
Well,
chill
see,
already?
cars are not weather stations. So, yes, the wind chill plays into that. You know, a little bit of a low relative humidity, all of the factors come into play to make it feel like a typical November day.
So what you're trying to say is you are secure in having a job because the car will not take it from you.
Oh, yeah, we don't like those car temperatures. No.
Very good, Mike. Thank you very much, sir. As always, we appreciate you. 35 chilly degrees right now, northern New Jersey, 38 degrees in, as Mike was saying, as Mike and I were both in Trenton. And we got already. Let's go over I-80. Apparently, there was a closure on I-80 earlier. It is reopened. This is near Two Bridges Road, but if we take a look at Two Bridges Road, I-80, oh, that's a funky looking camera. The damage was done from earlier, so you could see a lot of heaviness there right now, some sporadic area fog from that. But nonetheless, things are moving, but again, just beware of the delay from a little earlier this morning. We also have a disabled vehicle reported on the Garden State Parkway northbound just south of exit 149, which is Bloomfield. The left lane is blocked there. We'll get you a camera shot in just a minute. There's a shot for that. We have delays on 495 eastbound. That's by the approach to the Helix going to the Lincoln Tunnel. And that is from the New Jersey Turnpike at Secaucus to Kennedy Boulevard, North Bergen. All lanes are open, just delayed at this point. We take a look at the approaches to the Hudson River right now. The Lincoln Tunnel is, they're telling us about 35 minutes. Holland is about 25 minutes. And the GWB upper and lower levels, as we look, this is the 895 approach. Bumper to bumper. This is heavy. We're told 45 minutes already at 7:05. So for this hour of the morning, that is very heavy track, folks. 7:05 is our time, and there was a wild Saturday night in Newark as police say 2 people were shot dead, and they were young. 3 others were hurt as well. The Essex County Prosecutor's Office says the incident happened at 7 p.m. near Leslie Street at Chancellor Avenue in Newark's Weehawken neighborhood. The 10-year-old boy who was shot and 21-year-old woman died at University Hospital. May they rest in peace. That should never, ever happen in our neighborhoods. 3 others are in stable condition. Witnesses say people dove to the ground when the shots started to fly. Police are now investigating, but there were comments from the mayor, Ross Baraka, the governor, Governor Murphy. This was awful, and this kind of scene has not been common of late in Newark. Newark has actually been getting significantly better in terms of crime and drive-bys and things like that, but this was awful, and that was Saturday night. It is 7:06. New York Jets cornerback Chris Boyd was hurt in a Manhattan shooting early yesterday morning, overnight Saturday into yesterday. The NYPD says shots were fired around 2 a.m. on West 38th Street. When police arrived on scene, they found a 29-year-old man with a gunshot wound to the abdomen. The victim taken to Bellevue Hospital in critical. Published reports name Chris Boyd as the victim. Police did not immediately confirm that. The shooting reportedly started as an argument outside Say Less restaurant. The suspected gunman fired several shots. No arrests have been made. The investigation is ongoing. Boyd apparently told friends, according to one report, while they were in the restaurant eating, and Boyd said, "I don't have a good feeling." Apparently, other people were fighting in the restaurant, and Boyd said, "I don't like the vibe in here. Let's get out." And apparently the shooting happened when they were getting out. So it may very well be Boyd was just in the wrong place at the wrong time and did the right thing to get out, and then just happened to be the victim of shooting at that point. So we hope that he is okay. 7:07, a bigwig on Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani's transition team spewed hatred against Jews and Israel and questioned gay rights in a series of hateful social media posts from a decade ago. That from a report in the New York Post. Hassan Chowdhury, who identifies himself as newly appointed political director for Mamdani's transition and inaugural committee on LinkedIn, used the word Jew as a slur and even praised former Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. That's the gentleman we're talking about, Chowdhury. He allegedly praised former Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, who infamously said that Israel is, quote, a cancer which will be eliminated soon. Chowdhury, who was the director of Muslim engagement for the Mamdani campaign prior to this newest appointment, alleged appointment, also described Israel as, quote, a bloody country and a barbaric nation in the posts, some of which date back to when he was just 18 years old. No word from the Mamdani team, as you would expect. You could judge a person by whom they associate with. 7:08, now the government is reopened. The FAA announced yesterday that it was lifting all restrictions on commercial flights at 40 major airports, including here in Newark. As of an hour ago, airlines were allowed to resume their regular flight schedules. Restrictions were put in place back on November 7th. That affected thousands of flights across the country. Just in time for Thanksgiving, Target says it is lowering prices on about 3,000 food, beverage, baby, and household items to make the weekly shop a little bit less painful through the holidays, thank God. They noted the items seeing price drops this month include pantry stuff, baby items, that is needed. Listen, being a person who hasn't had a baby, I haven't had to shop for baby items, but I've heard it now from relatives who had babies and friends who had babies. I am stunned at how expensive, like diapers. Oh my God, how do single moms do it? I don't know. The baby items are just incredibly expensive. They're also dropping prices of cleaning products, by the way. Consumers are price sensitive, of course, right now. Walmart, Aldi, and Costco already announced they were rolling out early deals, so Target had to play catch up, but thankfully they did. And Target is one of the biggest retailers on the planet. Certainly one of the biggest in the United States. And believe me, any discount, I'm sure, will come as very welcome to everybody this holiday season. 7:09, President Trump proposed $2,000 tariff dividend checks for American citizens are coming as promised, but no date has been finalized yet. The president gave an update on the timing of the potential payouts on Friday, saying they won't come in time for Christmas, unfortunately. It takes time. And said, though, they will be sent out in 2026 as the president grapples with the midterm election cycle. Administration officials have given few specifics about how tariff rebate checks would work. Last week, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent explained the administration was still figuring out whether there would be an income qualification. So originally, they toyed with the idea you have to make less than $100,000 a year. Now that's being questioned. Maybe they'll just give it to everybody. It's all of our money, after all. We all paid into it, so we'll see what happens. 7:10, President Trump's 10-figure legal threat against the BBC is not mere bluster. Trump said Friday he was planning to sue the BBC for up to, count it, $5 billion for the network's misleading edit of his remarks January 6, 2021, during the documentary Panorama. A similar edit was found on the network's Newsnight program in 2022. The network later apologized and admitted it gave, quote, the mistaken impression that President Trump had made a direct call for violent action. You think? Although it contested the notion that it had defamed Trump. Well, what would you call it? You tried to paint the guy an insurrectionist who caused violence, and he didn't do that. Well, here's the video in question. The first version is what the broadcast version was on the BBC, and the second version was what was actually said. Listen.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
I mean, if you weren't trying to paint a negative image, then why did you make the edit? What would have been wrong with that soundbite? Listen, I was an anchor and a reporter for 35 years. I worked for ABC, I worked for NBC, I worked for CBS, and I worked for Fox. There would be no reason to do that unless you were trying to change the message. While the $5 billion lawsuit amount is eye-popping, Trump has managed to score large settlements from CBS, ABC, and Meta over the past 12 months. Trump allies say it is well-deserved for their malign behavior against Trump. 36 degrees now, 7:12. Later this morning, we will talk with Brandon digital strategist Fisher about a new app that literally lets your loved ones live forever, even if they've already passed. That's coming up ahead at 8:30. Maybe a shower this morning, partly cloudy, windy today. Could be even a rogue flurry, highs mid-40s. Meteorologist Mike Vetta returns with a full Garden State forecast, and we'll take your calls. 888-658-0234. 888-658-0234. Want to hear what you have to say. You're watching On New Jersey Mornings on your Monday. Yeah, let's wipe the Sandman out of your eyes. Don't go away.
Our Stable Life, New Jersey's first equine wellness center. Are you or a loved one suffering from PTSDs, trauma, or life challenges? Consider non-riding equine therapy, where the soul is touched by the presence of a horse with a certified counselor. Our Stable Life is a non-profit at Bergen Equestrian Center in Leonia, New Jersey. We partner with individuals, groups, and agencies to help people recover from addiction, trauma, phobias, and more. Explore equine therapy for healing. BergenEquestrianCenter.com.
At AmeriHealth, we understand what's important to you. It's why we offer some of the lowest cost health plans in New Jersey, with access to one of the state's largest networks of doctors and hospitals. Plus, with free 24/7 virtual care, you can see a doctor anytime and anywhere. And we're committed to giving back to help make a difference in our communities. Learn more at AmeriHealth.com. A health plan for everyone.
Very good morning to you. Welcome back to New Jersey Mornings for your Monday. I'm Ken Rosato. 7:15, we'll take your calls. 888-658-0234. You don't have to be confrontational. You can be if you'd like. I promise I'm not going to bite. I'm not going to yell back. Well, I might disagree, but that's okay. We don't have to get too confrontational. You call and tell us if you agree, disagree. Tell us about the weather. Tell us what it's like in your area. Tell us what you did this weekend. Just make a call. 888-658-0234. Could be a shower this morning. Partly cloudy, windy today. Mike even says maybe a rogue flurry. I love that term, a rogue flurry. Hey, you. I know you're a rogue flurry. Highs mid-40s. Is that how we should address a rogue flurry? Do we call did I say furry? There are those too. There are rogue furries
There
out
are
there.
those too, yeah.
Should we call police? Should we call our nearest meteorologist? What do we do when we see a rogue flurry, Mike? Or
You
just
could
go on
call
YouTube?
Ken at 888-658-0234 because that works too. Complain
It's
about the
ringing.
snow. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of complaining when people step outside this morning because the chill that has returned, making it feel like the end of December here in New Jersey. A 29-degree wind chill at 7:16 this morning. Oh, so cold with that temperature that feels like it's just below freezing in Trenton and in Flemington, 28 degrees. Plenty of chilly weather today, not leaving the 40s, even though sun shines most of the day. So bright and beautiful in Long Branch and Freehold, but about 20 degrees cooler than it felt yesterday. And you really felt the temperature drop throughout the day yesterday. Well, today, kind of the same thing. Going into the afternoon and evening hours by 8 p.m., it'll feel like the 20s, where that light shade of blue is from Sussex through Morristown and Flemington, still right in the 20s, right down the shore through 7 a.m. tomorrow. So if you thought this morning was cold, oh no, we lose another 10 degrees by tomorrow morning in the feels department, warming only to what will feel like the low 40s by the afternoon, and again, breezy into the end of the day on Wednesday. There could be a few sprinkles in there in the mix on Wednesday as well. So adding insult to injury with a little bit of wet weather that comes in with that cold air. Had a few flurries that came through last night, a few more trying to make it through right now across 195, all due to the same system that's been sitting and spinning. It feels like for the last week now over the northeast and into Canada, and that's what's providing those lake effect snows and the enhanced lake effect showers that are giving us our flurries today. So with the forecast bringing back dry weather this weekend, I think we'll hold in the mid-50s. It warmed up a little bit, but not so much. I think the weekend will feel quite chilly. But again, going ahead, and it's going to be dry, but still not exactly the warmth we were looking for. Just getting to average. And I feel like we're clawing back to average again at this point, given how chilly it's been.
I haven't been average since 1938. I don't know what you're talking about. I've been well below. All right, all right, Mike. So it wasn't my imagination yesterday when I literally felt a gust of wind that was at least as strong or close to it as the tropical storms I've encountered in South Florida.
I mean, kids were being blown away coming out of church yesterday. It was pretty intense, yeah.
Do we know what some of the peak winds were, or some of the gusts were, like
I,
in the
I will
40s?
I will look them up, but according to the garbage can index, all three garbage cans have blown over. So that's how you know it's pretty strong.
So it was a three canner. That's how
A
we do it.
three
So one
can,
canner, two
yes.
canner, three. This was a three canner. That's got to be at least
Category
40,
three
45 mile
wins,
an
yeah.
hour gust. Category. So to one canner, it's 15 to 20. Two canners, 25 to 30. Three canners, 35 to 40. That's how. Remember
Because
the
this
old
is how people
scale they
talk
used to have?
nowadays. Ah,
But they
exactly.
used to
Yep.
have those when we were kids. When I was a kid, certainly,
Yeah.
they used to say that you knew it was like a Cat 1 storm. Cat 2s were based on tree
Right.
limbs, but that's how they used to do it. They didn't have anemometers
Because
100 years ago. So
Bernoulli wasn't born yet, so there were no anemometers. You had to just base it on, the sanitation workers.
you know what? But Bernoulli used to come over the house, he used to clean up when we had pasta fazool. I'm just saying, it's a whole
Oh,
other story. We could
that's it,
talk
right.
about Bernoulli. That's another story. All right, Mike, we'll check back, sir. Thank you very much. It is 40 degrees now in Northern New Jersey, 37 in Trenton. In terms of traffic, let's go back to I-80 if we can. Very heavy once again. This is by the area of Two Bridges Road. There was an accident earlier that has been cleared, but again, a lot of folks, sorry for the funky looking camera, but a lot of folks hitting the brakes through that area. And you could see police or some kind of an emergency vehicle on the right there. Maybe there's something else that occurred causing this. In fact, look at that. Now they're stopped. So there we go. Pam found this because Pam's amazing. Pam directs the show, talks on the phone to us, gets in our ear, is like setting up the next shot. She's doing it all at once. She uses her toes. She's amazing. But yeah, she found the shot for us. Thank you, Pam. Amazing. We also have a disabled. We should remind everybody again. That was I-80 at Two Bridges Road. So that's where that was occurring. We have a disabled vehicle, McClester Street northbound by Clara Street in Elizabeth, right lane blocked. Also, we have problems. Oh boy, it's a lot on the Hudson River approaches today. Not a lot of easy. So we now have delays at the Lincoln South Tunnel eastbound. All lanes are open, but the travel time is 35 minutes there. We're also told that the Holland right now, let's see, we have, let me first tell you this. We have delays on Route 21 northbound, north of exit 13, Ackerman Avenue to exit 14, Route 46, Clifton. All lanes open, but things are only moving about 10 miles an hour. Delays on 280 westbound at I-80 Parsippany, Troy Hills. Just a very slow go through there. And now we go to GWB. We have an issue there. Disabled vehicle on the GWB, lower level eastbound from the New Jersey side, 2 right lanes blocked. So you notice they're giving us a different camera shot. That's what you have. So the lower level is what you're seeing on the right side. The upper level, those trucks on the left. So you have cars trying to avoid the slowdown by going to the left of the upper level. Both are very heavy right now. We're now told 45 to 50 to get into Manhattan. And I'm sure that's just going to climb because of the disabled vehicle. 7:21 right now. State officials say 14 people, including a member of the Lucchese crime family and his sons, have been charged with operating an illegal sports gambling ring. The alleged ring is suspected of transferring millions of dollars over the last few years and allegedly used student athletes to serve as bookies. New Jersey's Attorney General Matt Platkin announced the arrests at a Thursday news conference. Platkin's office charged Joseph Little Joe Perna with financing and backing the operation, and his son Joseph R. Perna with running the day-to-day operations. 12 others, including several of Perna's other sons and nephews, his wife and ex-wife, imagine wife and ex-wife allegedly on the payroll, have been charged with being part of the organization which allegedly operated out of Essex and Bergen counties. The charges allege that Little Joe Perna used offshore gambling websites to rope people in. You knew it was going to happen with all of these legit websites. You knew that was going to happen. That was my gut. Not trying to accuse all those websites. They're probably 99% of them 100% legit, but it was just begging for stuff like this to happen. The allegation goes on that Joseph R. Perna recruited people, including college athletes, to operate local sports books across the country. Charges range from racketeering, money laundering to conspiracy, promoting gambling by bookmaking, and possessing gambling records. 7:21, the FBI, actually 7:23, the FBI says they've arrested 51-year-old Keith Michael Lisa in connection with vandalizing the New York office of acting U.S. Attorney Alina Habba the evening of November 12th. No word on the exact date or circumstances regarding his arrest, though. The FBI says Lisa originally tried to enter the building where Habba's office is located with a bat. He was denied entry. He left, ditched the bat, came back. For whatever reason, security let him in, and that's when the alleged vandalism happened. Bad news for path riders. The cost of a single PATH train ticket going up next spring and will climb steadily each year until it hits $4 by 2029. Remember when it was like 99 cents or 90 cents? I remember that. A single trip on the PATH train, which currently costs $3, is set to rise to $3.25 by spring of 2026. Will keep going up a quarter each January from 2027 to 2029 in order to pay for what the Port Authority calls sweeping system improvements to trains moving between Newark, Jersey City, Hoboken, and Manhattan. By the way, you drivers, you're not off the hook. You thought that when you started paying congestion pricing, that was it, right? Bull. The Port Authority's plan also calls for bridge and tunnel tolls to increase, of course, by 3% on January 4th, all while phasing out off-peak discounts to Easy Pass users. So all this time they told us, if you just drive off-peak to lighten the traffic, we'll give you a discount. You got into that habit, you changed your work schedule, now you got to still pay the old amount. So screw you. That's what they're telling you. 7:24, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed yesterday that Hamas would be disarmed no matter what. Following reports, the U.S. would no longer be imposing that condition that they disarm as part of President Trump's 20-point peace deal. Israeli media outlets claim the White House was thinking about dropping the calls for Hamas to disarm after allegedly finding it too difficult to get other nations to commit peacekeeping troops to oversee the demilitarization of Gaza. Netanyahu's warning comes as the uncertainty of the Gaza ceasefire looms with the bodies of just 3 hostages still under Hamas captivity. Once all the hostages are freed, the deal is supposed to set the groundwork for permanent peace, but there's still no clear path forward over Israel and Hamas's disagreements, which caused previous ceasefires to collapse. 725, while President Trump continues to fight high food prices, there's the possibility that ground beef could be headed to $10 a pound by a year from now, next fall. That, according to Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Bessent blamed the soaring beef prices on the perfect storm of problems inherited from the Biden administration, as well as the spread of this awful parasite that's in Mexico, impacting Mexican beef. He said the price likely wouldn't come down until 2027, so it would take a whole year. Ground beef costs an average of $6.32 a pound, which is ridiculous right now, up from $5.67 last year, which was ridiculous then. The Trump administration recently eased tariffs on imports of beef, coffee, tropical fruits, and other food products to help address affordability concerns. Just too expensive. A United Airlines flight on its way to Chicago forced to make an emergency landing in Missouri yesterday after a passenger said there was a bomb in his wife's luggage. United Flight 380 from Dallas to Chicago landed in St. Louis yesterday morning due to what was being called a potential security concern. The plane was diverted to St. Louis Lambert International just past 8:30 in the morning after that man said there was a bomb in a piece of his wife's luggage. The allegedly unwieldy man was arrested, but it wasn't clear if he was charged. His identity not yet released. All 119 passengers and crew were evacuated and waited on the concourse while bomb and arson teams searched the plane for several hours. Once given the all clear, the plane was finally on its way by afternoon. And Christmas cheer will return to the historic city of Bethlehem next month in the West Bank after a 2-year pause due to the war in Gaza. Bethlehem Mayor Maher Kanawati announced festivities would return starting December 6th with a Christmas tree lighting in the famous Manger Square. Located in the center of Bethlehem, Manger Square is named for the manger, of course, in which it is believed Jesus was laid after his birth. 727, 37 degrees. When we come back, an amazing life-saving medical procedure. A woman is rushed to the ER thinking she was having an allergic reaction, but an attentive ER physician didn't accept that. Turns out the woman had stage 2 lung cancer, but because of that determination, she's with us to talk about it today. The phone lines are open, 888-658-0234. Could be a shower this morning, partly cloudy, windy today, maybe a rogue flurry, highs mid-40s. You're watching On New Jersey Mornings. We'll be right back. very good morning to you. It is 37 degrees at 7:30, Monday, November 17th, 2025. I'm Ken Rosato. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. Maybe a shower this morning or a stray rogue flurry, then partly cloudy, windy today, highs mid-40s. Meteorologist Mike Favetta with a detailed Garden State forecast. Mike, I'm concerned, is the rogue flurry coming this morning with the possible stray shower, or is it just rogue on its own through the day?
Well, it's rogue, but it's also the wind. You could hear the wind, Ken, which brings me to point out something important. We want to welcome our new weather sponsor, Ken, Audio Nova. We're going to have some audiologists on morning show. Ken will be interviewing them over the next several weeks because hearing, very important, especially with the amount of wind that was around last night. You could really hear the gusts upwards of 50 miles per hour over on Sandy Hook. So some very, very gusty winds throughout the overnight, leading to another breezy start to the morning. This map just updating 7:31, and you can already see those gusts upwards of 21 miles per hour in Sussex, 21 mile per hour winds in Flemington, and 18 mile per hour breezes in Newark. All of this wind combined with the temperature that right now is in the 30s makes it feel like the 20s at times. So some pretty chilly stuff around today, with highs barely leaving the 50s. Maybe we get to 50 over in Cape May briefly with that afternoon sunshine, but it's the dry, chilly air that's going to make it so cool. And even our average high of 55 degrees struggling to even get to that point. So we have a few of those rogue flurries around, like Ken was saying. There will be a few sprinkles as well mixed in, thanks to a little bit of a warmer feel this afternoon. But again, warmer, I mean by above freezing, just a few degrees. So with all of the cold weather around today into this evening, it's another chilly go tomorrow. We actually lose a few more degrees. It's colder tomorrow morning. And then, kind of adding insult to injury, bringing back the threat of some light showers for tomorrow night and early Wednesday morning. I think most of it is done for most of the state just before sunrise on Wednesday. All of those showers clear out, but it'll be a chilly feel and cold enough to make it feel quite raw even through the afternoon with another round of cloud cover, so not a whole lot of sunshine around. The forecast and broader view showing a couple of those lake effect snow showers coming across. Here's the system that gives us our wet weather briefly late tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. Most of it stays to our south, at least the better part of it does, and that leads to a cloudy finish to the day on Wednesday with another round of cloud cover by Thursday. So we're in the middle of some changing weather scenarios. It doesn't exactly warm us up, but it brings back the more clouds and a little bit of rain, especially into Friday, where our high climbs to 57 briefly before cooling back off into the weekend. So some cool weather around in northern New Jersey, or if you find yourself down the shore, more clouds for you, because again, you're closer to that system that comes in tomorrow night and leaves by Wednesday morning, and then the rest of the week sees the rain set up by Friday, cooler this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So still chilly around Ken. Can't quite seem to get out from those below average temperatures.
I hear you. By the way, I thank you. I want to say a full welcome to Audio Nova as well. And the amazing thing is we all have parents or ourselves. I'm pretty because I wear this thing. I've worn this thing in my ear for 40 years of my career. I know I have hearing loss there as a result. But literally, my mother, my father, I have an aunt and an uncle, they'll all be calling on Audio Nova because there is a difference between the over-the-counter stuff and the real professionals. So just had to put it out there if you want to be able to hear it. You don't realize how important it is until you start losing your hearing. So thank God they're out there, and thank you for sponsoring us. That's wonderful. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you, sir. 7:34 right now, 34 degrees right now in northern New Jersey, 36 degrees in Trenton. And in terms of traffic, we got a lot going on right now. Let's go over if we can. We're going to do I-78. Yes, right there on I-78, we have a disabled vehicle. This is at exit 44, Route 527 Glenside Avenue. This is in Berkeley Heights. The right lane of the two lanes and the ramp lane are both closed. You can see what that's causing. So it's even causing rubbernecking on the westbound side. But again, this is located in Berkeley Heights, I-78 eastbound, exit 44. The shoulder there, ramp for the exit, and the right lane closed. And you can see everybody's trying to get by in that one left lane. It's just an absolute mess. So try to avoid that area. Give yourself extra travel time otherwise. We also have delays on 2A westbound east of the Stickle Drawbridge in Harrison to exit 14E, which is King Street in Newark. All lanes open, but things are very heavy through there. Now we go over to I-80 at Two Bridges Road in Fairfield. There was an accident about an hour and a half ago closing the highway just about an exit away from there. And it has not sped up since then, even though things are reopening. You can see the wind buffing that camera, gusts of 30 to 40 miles an hour in some cases. And those cameras are up at about 75 feet. So you can imagine the amount of wind there. You could see it with your own eyes. But that's a little bit of fog that you could see in the area as well. So kind of causing some issues. Give yourselves, like we said, extra travel time, please. Your Hudson River approaches, all with issues today. Holland is your best bet with about 25 minutes. Lincoln now is about 35 minutes with some issues on many local road approaches. And the GWB, we have a problem mid-span on the lower level. So that's what you see on the right side of your screen. Those are bumper-to-bumper vehicles. They're trying to make their way over. 45 minutes across on the lower, upper levels on the left. Not much better. It'll still be 40 to 45. We're told it'll save you a few minutes, but until they clear that broken down vehicle, this is what you're going to have. It's going to cost you that amount of time getting in Manhattan. 7:36 is our time, and last year, Donna Rigby walked into the emergency department at Hackensack Meridian Jersey Shore University Medical Center for what looked like an allergic reaction. But a very attentive ER physician took an extra step, ordering a CT scan, and that decision revealed the real cause. Stage 2 lung tumor. What followed was a highly coordinated, high-tech treatment journey that included a robotic lung surgery. And today, thank God, Donna is not only back to work, she recently celebrated ringing the bell, as they call it, at Hope Tower, marking the end of her treatment. Joining us this morning, two people at the center of the story, Dr. Thomas L. Bauer, Chair of Surgery and Chief of Thoracic Surgery at Hackensack Meridian Jersey Shore University Medical Center, and the woman herself, Donna Rigby, lung cancer survivor. I say touched by God. Thank you both for being here. It's good to have you both on.
Thank you, Ken.
You bet.
Thank you. Good
Well,
morning.
Don, good morning to you. I'm a believer in up above. I'm not going to ask about the two of you. But I definitely feel that there was some divine intervention in the fact that the good doctor made you have that CT scan. Donna's diagnosis, of course, came from the unrelated emergency visit. Can you walk us through, let's start with the doc, walk us through what the team saw and what prompted the CT scan and how critical that decision was to the fact that Donna is sitting here right now. That's for
Dr.
you.
Bauer or me? For me?
Yes. Dr. Bauer, for Dr. Bauer.
Oh, I'm sorry. The importance of lung cancer screening is that most of the time it doesn't have symptoms. And in Donna's case, we can find it when we're doing scans for other reasons. And it's very fortuitous because we find it early before it has symptoms. It increases the probability that we'll be able to cure people just like Donna.
Amen to that. And Donna, talk about that day when you thought you were having an allergic reaction. It was just like an ordinary day, and suddenly you were having breathing issues?
Well, not really. It was like 2:30 in the morning, and
Ooh.
I had woken up, but I was going to have epidural injections in my spine. And I had been taking my blood pressure medication on the regular. I'm one of those bad patients who, if I feel good, I don't take the medicine. But I was advised that I needed to take it and get my blood pressure really under control in order to have the injections. I woke up at like 2:30 in the morning, and I felt the side of my face, and it was the size of a football. So I woke my granddaughter up and I said, well, I think I'm having an allergic reaction. I have been to nursing school, so I do have some medical background. So I ended up going to the emergency room and I took the medications I've been taking, which was Tylenol, my blood pressure medication. And, I presented myself and thank God that the ER doctor he asked me, he's like, have you been experiencing any shortness of breath or anything? And I said, yeah, but I have asthma and I couldn't find my inhaler. So, he took it upon himself to do the CAT scan and that started the ball rolling. Prior to that, I had been experiencing weight loss. I am a survivor of colon cancer. So immediately I went the gastro route because I thought, oh, something's going on there. But the
Mm.
hidden gem was lung cancer.
Well, thank God. It just thank. I mean, you don't want to say thank God you had to go to the ER, but thank God you had to go to the ER, right? Or else it wouldn't have been caught.
Truthfully,
Let's
truthfully,
really,
that is what I said.
amen. And Dr. Bauer, let's ask you at this stage. I mean, you were stage 2, right, with the lung tumor. So at that stage, how long had she on another, say, 3 months or whatever? At what point stage 2 is already life threatening, obviously, right?
So any of the stages are, Ken, as I'm sure all of our viewers know. Stage two means that it's gotten into the lymph nodes, so it has actually started to spread. And it's too hard for us to say how much time she had, but as we always say, time is of the essence. And in Donna's case, we were able to do a couple things. One, provide, as you mentioned earlier, excellent coordinated care. And then I think, as Donna would testify, ensuring that we do it in a compassionate fashion. Our navigators help her coordinate all of her care to get through the treatment to shrink the tumor, get her happy and healthy enough to have the surgery, and then afterwards to again follow up and do any additional treatment. As in Donna's case, every one of our patients get a pillow made for my daughter. So it's
Yeah.
excellent care and compassionate care that make the difference, I think.
We're
I
running
still
down to the
have my
last.
pillow.
Amen. Hug on to that pillow. Bless your heart there with that, with all you've been through. And we're down to the last 30 seconds, but I just want to point out to everybody that part of Donna's treatment was this new immuno-oncology therapy that she received. And we could do an hour show or more on the new immunotherapies that are out there and available. This is not cancer treatment from 10 years ago. This is a whole new field. Just a quick yes or no
Yes,
from
it is.
doctor, right?
Absolutely. Robotics, revving the immune system with new drugs, all makes a difference.
Amen. Well, I'm just glad that that beautiful lady's sitting right there. May you come back to wish on everybody else who's a survivor in the future. And doctor, we got to have you both on, and we have to do a whole show on this because
Love you,
this is
Dr.
miracles right here.
Bauer.
Yes, amen to
God
that.
bless.
Dr. Thomas L. Bauer, Chair of Surgery and Chief of Thoracic Surgery at Hackensack Meridian Jersey Shore University Medical Center, and Donna Rigby, lung cancer survivor, touched by God. Thank you both for coming on this morning. Have a
Amen.
wonderful day. You bet.
Thank you.
Thank you. You too, Ken.
Thank you. It's 7:43. We're coming right back.
Our Stable Life, New Jersey's first equine wellness center. Are you or a loved one suffering from PTSDs, trauma, or life challenges? Consider non-riding equine therapy, where the soul is touched by the presence of a horse with a certified counselor. Our Stable Life is a non-profit at Bergen Equestrian Center in Leone, New Jersey. We partner with individuals, groups, and agencies to help people recover from addiction, trauma, phobias, and more. Explore equine therapy for healing. BergenEquestrianCenter.com.
At AmeriHealth, we understand what's important to you. It's why we offer some of the lowest cost health plans in New Jersey, with access to one of the state's largest networks of doctors and hospitals. Plus, with free 24/7 virtual care, you can see a doctor anytime and anywhere. And we're committed to giving back to help make a difference in our communities. Learn more at AmeriHealth.com. A health plan for everyone.
A very good morning. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato at 7:45, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Maybe a shower this morning, partly cloudy, very windy today. A rogue flurry or ragu. It's a ragu flurry. Highs in the mid-40s. That's the way Anchorman would say it. A ragu flurry. Right to meteorologist Mike Favetta with the Garden State forecast. Mike, good morning. Hey, Mike, every news anchor at some point. I did Channel 7 for 20 years in the morning, and people used to ask me, it was the
Yeah.
number one question. Did you ever, feel a certain simpatico with Anchorman? Of course I did. Of course I did everything but the mustache. We used to have
Mm-hmm.
the circle 7 pins and everything back in the day. That
Yeah,
was
that
100
was
years
it.
ago.
But
You were there.
it's not about the cannonball weather, right? This is not the weather you want to do cannonball into your backyard pool. It's a weather that you just want to bundle up in the big wool suit, that you see them marching down in the hot San Diego sun, waving to all the San Diegans, if that's really what they are. 43 degrees right now in Wayne, warming to a high 43. That is, it's chilly right now with temperatures that will ultimately climb to just a few degrees shy of average. We struggle to even leave the 40s today. But you look down the road into the first few days of December, and there's a slightly milder trend forecast that will take our temperatures to a few degrees above average, which would be welcomed after all of this cold, cold weather that's been kind of plaguing New Jersey for at least the last 2 weeks. The longer term showing temperatures warming into only the mid 50s by Friday. It comes with some rain, and we're pretty chilly until then. I think by Saturday and Sunday, also see a little bit of a reprieve from the bitter cold and bring back a little bit of warmth. We might make it to 60 down the shore on Friday, also with rain. And then by Saturday and Sunday, hold in the upper 50s. So not as chilly this upcoming weekend, but it's a kind of a long walk to get there, a cold walk at that end as we take it to the next few days.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Yes, cold walking. By the way, make sure you put lotion. Here's my little trick. I know people tend, I spoke to people over the weekend, relatives. Oh, by the way, it's my dad's 95th birthday yesterday. Shout out to my dad.
Oh, wow.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday, Dad.
Thank you. It was nice. We all got together. And it is my sister-in-law's birthday today. We won't say a number. Happy birthday to my sister-in-law, Carol, on a day apart they are. But what we all determined, or my little trick I learned years ago, if you don't want to get greasy fingertips from moisturizer, but you want to keep your fingers and all moist, put a drop of lotion on the back of your hand and do this. You get the knuckles, you get the back of your hands coated. Then you could kind of make a determination if you want to moisturize your fingertips.
Ah,
And this way you don't have
okay.
greasy hands on the underside all day. See, it only took me
Good tip.
58 years of life to figure that out. All right. All right, Mike. I still can't figure out how to use a fork, but that's another story. We'll get back to you, Mike, just a little bit. Thank you, sir. It is 35 degrees right now, northern Jersey, 36 degrees in Trenton, and 34 in Vineland. In terms of traffic, we have a crash right now reported on the Garden State Parkway northbound. It is south of exit 89A, which is Route 70 in Lakewood. The left lane is blocked, and you can see a little dampness. We talked about a possibility of a rogue shower. And there it is. Literally 2 minutes ago, there was nothing on that lens. Now you could see rain coming through it. That's causing folks to maybe hit the brakes and cause a little accident. Oh, you think it's snowflakes? Yeah, that could be the rogue flurry Mike's talking about. Good catch there, Pam. Thank you. We also have an incident on I-78 right now. We are told that I-78, where was that? By Two Bridges? No, that's I-80 at Two Bridges. This is I-78. This is going into a crash at Diamond Hill. And you can see the delay there. 2 lanes are affected as you make your way around the bend there. We have another issue on the Garden State Parkway northbound, north of Toms River Toll Plaza, Toms River, to exit 90, which is Chambers Bridge Road in Brick Township. All lanes open, but there's a 6-mile delay due to volume. Now we go to I-80. I-80 at Two Bridges Road in Fairfield. Right there, this has been a bit of an issue. Earlier this morning, the road was closed. It's now reopened, but it has not gotten much faster than that. It's about 15 miles an hour. Lincoln Tunnel has issues approaching. There are several issues getting from the Turnpike to Lincoln, the Lincoln Tunnel, and also on 495. It's going to cost about 40 minutes with the Lincoln approaches. Your Holland's your best approach, 25 to 30 into Manhattan. GWB, we have issues now. as well. There was a stalled vehicle mid-range on the lower level, mid-span, I should say, and that's causing the problem you see on the right side of your screen. Upper level on your left is supposedly going to give you about 5 fewer minutes. That's your better bet. And overall, though, just a mess getting into Manhattan today. 7:50 is our time as we mark National Diabetes Month. Millions of Americans are confronting the realities of type 2 diabetes. That's a condition long believed to require lifelong management and medications. But our next guest is challenging the narrative. Joining us this morning, Dr. Jeffrey Hawkins, founder and CEO of the Diabetes Reversal Group. For more than 16 years, he's worked with patients through a patented lifestyle-based system that he says has helped many individuals move beyond managing type 2 diabetes to improving their health naturally. Good to have you on, Dr. Hawkins.
Hey, Ken. Nice to see you.
Well, likewise. And speaking as a person, I used to weigh 360. I weigh about 180, 185 right now. I was pre-diabetic. Once I got down to eating right, exercising, losing all that weight, no more. So I guess I'm living proof of what you're about to talk about. That when you manage your lifestyle, you could reverse the issues, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. So one of the
Well,
big
talk
things
about
that people,
it.
yeah. So one of the biggest things, Ken, that people are told is that, when you have type 2 diabetes, there's no more hope. You're a type 2 diabetic forever. You can't reverse the disease. And that's 100% not true. We've been doing it for 16 years. So you can reverse it and get off your medications. You just have to be willing to change your lifestyle in the right way in order to do that. And that's what we can help people with. And the other thing is that a lot of people think that this is a genetic disease and that you inherit the gene from your parents, and that's what makes you a type 2 diabetic. Well, the good news is that there is not a gene that strikes you from the high like a lightning bolt and makes you be a type 2 diabetic. Now, there's genetic predispositions, but not a gene that makes you get type 2 diabetes. That means it doesn't matter if everybody in your family has type 2 diabetes, you can still reverse it with the proper lifestyle changes. Then the last thing is medications. People are told, well, you got to take medications forever. And that's not true either. So again, as long as you're willing to change your lifestyle the proper way, your doctor gets you off of all your medications and reverse the disease. It's really, really cool.
I remember, Doctor, reading a study many years ago, and I'm sure you're much more aware of it than me, that people in Africa have a much lower incidence of diabetes. And that African Americans, unfortunately, they were dragged here by us, but African Americans have a much higher incidence of diabetes. So that was the indicator of diet, right? Having all the impact that there might have been a predisposition, but it came down to what diet was in terms of ultimately impacting whether somebody had type 2 diabetes or not.
Yeah, 100% true. That's why you can have your mother, your father, all your sisters, aunts, and uncles all have type 2 diabetes. But if you get it, you can still reverse it when you change your lifestyle. So again, there's predispositions to it, but it's not the thing that says, oh, I have it and I can't reverse it. Like a type 1 diabetic where you can't reverse that. But type 2 is that insulin resistance. It's adult onset, and it's caused by eating the wrong foods for decades and your body becoming insulin resistant. And that can actually be reversed.
And insulin resistance is basically your body's way of saying, we're learning to cope with the crap you're putting in. And that's right. It's got to put up a defense. And so I remember looking at something online about how insulin attaches on a molecular level and how the cell puts up basically a barrier to prevent it. And that's why you need more and more, and you gain weight as a result, and you end up becoming diabetic. So how do the what, when, and how to eat principles impact whether you'll have type 2 diabetes or have a better support of your blood sugar?
Yeah, well, that's huge, right? The whole ball game, Ken, is eating the right foods. And there's so much misinformation out there right now about what is okay for a diabetic to eat. And there's two schools of thought. If your goal is to just keep taking your medications every day forever, there's foods over here you can eat. But if you want to reverse it and get off your meds, there's foods over here you got to eat. And so there's a big difference. And so I'll give you an example. A lot of people say that, oh, well, as a diabetic, you can have whole grains. It's like the brown bread is okay, white bread is bad. Right? A lot of people are told that. That's like saying that cocaine is good, but heroin's bad, right? I mean, they're both bad, right? So it's just like there's might be a little bit difference, but that's some of the nonsense that is told to diabetics right now is that you can have whole grains and et cetera. There's just a lot of things that people need to be aware of, and they got to go to the right source so they know they're not getting anything that's just in the management camp. They want to learn what is in the reversal camp. That's the goal.
You know, it's amazing that 50 years ago they called Dr. Atkins a quack when he talked about cutting out carb. I mean, maybe the saturated fat part might have been a little too much, but I
Yeah.
mean, he was right in terms of getting rid of all the sweets and the sugars and carbs and increasing proteins and fats. And that apparently works a lot better for a lot of people than all the sugars. Remember in the 1980s, it was like, get rid of the fats and eat all the carbohydrates you can. And look what that gave us. It
Yeah.
gave us a whole generation of people who are, well, 60%, 70% obese.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why when people want to change your lifestyle, Ken, they've got to have a really big why. Like, why do you want to change it? If there's no motivation to change, you'll just keep eating the same way, take your meds, and take your chances. So, is it, do you want to make sure you're around for your grandkids? Do you want to not miss your daughter's wedding? You know, do you want to not have any symptoms, fear of a complication like amputation, dialysis, heart attack, or stroke? I mean, you have to figure out, like, why do I want to reverse it? If there's not a big enough why, you're just going to keep doing the status quo and never change. So we help people get to that, like, what is the motivation here if you don't want to change? Because when that's big enough, you're willing to make the changes necessary to get yourself back in health and get off these meds once and for all. So that's what I want to make sure people understand.
If somebody wants to take their first step right now today, Doc, obviously they should reach out to you because you've done this successfully for 16 years.
Yeah.
If they just want to start the process, what should they eliminate immediately?
Well, the first thing is going to be the bad carbs, right? So all the bread, the pasta, the rice, the cereals, pizza, bagels, all that stuff. That's the biggest thing that just has to be eliminated. There's no substitutes, just get rid of it. Pretend it doesn't exist in the world. That's the best way to think of it. And more fruits, vegetables, and meats. That's really the best way to kind of start with this. And you'll see results very quickly when you follow that. Once you see, oh my gosh, I got rid of that, the blood sugar came down. That's your first clue that, hey, it is all on me as far as what I'm eating. I was just told the wrong things. And that's what I want to make sure people know as well, is that it's not really their fault. They're being told, they're doing what they've been told to do. And that's the problem. So we have to educate people more on, hey, this is reversible.
And I don't mean to cut you, but we're like about to hit the top of the hour here. So I just need to get your website because people need to reach out to you.
Yeah, so if people want to take the first step, they can just go to reverseyourdiabetes.com. There's a free webinar they
There you
can
go.
watch there
Dr.
that
Jeff
explains the
Hawkins,
whole
founder
program.
and CEO, CEO of the Diabetes Reversal Group. Thank you for coming on this morning. Have a
Thanks
good
a lot,
day,
Ken.
and we'll be right back.
You too.
You bet.
Our Stable Life, New Jersey's first equine wellness center. Are you or a loved one suffering from PTSDs, trauma, or life challenges? Consider non-ride equine therapy, where the soul is touched by the presence of a horse with a certified counselor. Our Stable Life is a non-profit at Bergen Equestrian Center in Leonia, New Jersey. We partner with individuals, groups, and agencies to help people recover from addiction, trauma, phobias, and more. Explore equine therapy for healing. BergenEquestrianCenter.com.
At AmeriHealth, we understand what's important to you. It's why we offer some of the lowest cost health plans in New Jersey, with access to one of the state's largest networks of doctors and hospitals. Plus, with free 24/7 virtual care, you can see a doctor anytime and anywhere. And we're committed to giving back to help make a difference in our communities. Learn more at AmeriHealth.com. A health plan for everyone.
Very good morning. It is 8 a.m. Monday, November 17th, 2025. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. Ken Rosato and taking calls at 888-658-0234. Straight to meteorologist Mike Favetta with the first check of the hour with the Garden State forecast. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, and I found those rogue flurries for you here on the map. They've been moving across the Delaware into Monmouth County and now crossing into Ocean County, and some of those raindrops you saw there on the traffic cameras, especially toward the Turnpike or even across 195, likely those snowflakes melting as they reach the ground. Even there toward Tom's River, you see some of those last flake and flurries leaving just in the last few minutes as we approach now going after 8 a.m. So we are dry from this point forward, breezy though, and you feel that wind with actual air temperatures right now hovering in the mid to upper 30s, even some low 40s down the shore, but it's plenty cold for it to snow. And with that cold weather around, we're running anywhere from 14 to 20 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. Air is bone dry, and with that cold weather allowing for some of those flakes and flurries to fall, it'll be breezy through the rest of this afternoon. Wind gusts right now on the order of 15 to 20 miles per hour, less than the 50-mile-per-hour gusts that were felt yesterday out in Sandy Hook. But throughout the remainder of the day, it'll be breezy, not as windy tomorrow into tomorrow morning or afternoon. But, any little gust of wind when the air is this cold just makes it feel that much worse. The futurecast shows us remaining dry throughout the rest of the day into tomorrow. It's actually colder this time tomorrow, waking up with some really chilly weather. Clouds return by tomorrow afternoon. A few light showers around into the overnight and early morning Wednesday. And when I say early morning Wednesday, I mean most of it wraps up by 7 a.m. So it's a fast-moving system with just rainfall at night. And then we'll end up with clouds for the rest of the day on Wednesday with that chilly weather through the middle of the week. Temperatures struggling to make it even up to average. So each and every day it'll feel cool with numbers starting off in the 30s and low 40s, and even that'll be your afternoon high, only making up to 49 on Wednesday with some clouds lingering through Thursday. There is a slightly warmer weekend, and when I say slightly, I mean we get to 50s, but we'll give you those details coming up, Ken, with the weekend weather in just a few minutes.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. We got a lot of traffic going on, so forgive me for having to head down. We're just trying to put it all together as Mike's doing his weather. Let's go over to, we're going to do 80 or 78 first, man. I'm sorry. Go I do 78. This is I-78 at Diamond Hill, and we have what appears to be a shutdown of a lane. You can see the right lane, right shoulder as they're making their way around the bend, so that's causing a big slowdown right now on I-78 at Diamond Hill. We have an ongoing issue we'll tell you about at the Garden State. Pam, while you're bringing up that Garden State, there's a different Garden State I'll tell them about. There are delays on the Garden State southbound from exit 150 Hoover Avenue, Bloomfield to 147 Clinton Avenue, East Orange. All lanes are open, but that's a 3.5-mile delay of bumper-to-bumper traffic. Now we still have this issue at the Garden State Parkway at 89A. This is from an earlier accident that's being cleared right now, and you can see all the mess that is the result of that. Staying on the Garden State Parkway, we have delays and pockets of volume northbound from north exit 142, which is I-78 Irvington, to north of exit 151 Bloomfield. That is 9 miles due to volume, and the speed there is about 10 to 15 miles an hour for 9 miles. Wow. Give yourselves time on that. Let's go over to 80 at Two Bridges Road in Fairfield. There was an earlier shutdown. You see the winds buffeting the camera there. There was an earlier shutdown of the roadway right near there, and you could see the damage is done. Bumper-to-bumper traffic on the belt going both ways, and that is I-80 at Two Bridges Road in Fairfield. Your approaches to the Hudson River right now, the Lincoln Tunnel is telling us 35 minutes going in. The approaches are all kind of slow, making your way to 495. And there's an issue on 495 we can't show you right now. The cameras are all down. There are 5 cameras. All of them are down right now, offline on 495, so we can't show you. And by the way, we don't control the cameras. That's the state DOT controls them. But there's that. And then you have the Holland Tunnel right now, which is 25 to 30, and GWB upper and lower levels. We had an earlier issue with a broken down vehicle on the lower level mid-span. And look at the problem. On the right side, that's the lower level approach, bumper to bumper. Upper level, not much better. It's going to cost you 45 minutes into Manhattan right now via the GWB. 8:05 is our time, and there is a growing debate around a new frontier of artificial intelligence, one that blends digital intimacy and one that also combines the concerns of privacy. As AI chatbots roll out features capable of generating intimate content, experts warn that the real danger has nothing to do with morality and everything to do with your data. Joining us this morning to talk about it is Professor Vasant Dar, who is professor at NYU's Stern School of Business and the Center for Data Science. He's also the author of the upcoming book, Thinking with Machines, The Brave New World of AI, which, by the way, is released tomorrow. So tomorrow, this is the eve of right now. He says anybody interacting with AI in these intimate ways is playing with fire, not because of the content. It's not, again, about the morality, but because of what happens with your personal data. Professor Dar, welcome. Sounds like a very important warning we have to pay attention to.
Thanks, Ken. Great to be on the show.
You bet. And good luck with the book tomorrow. That's exciting. I'm very excited
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
It's a big
And
deal.
by the way, and the launch event is actually today. So today is a big day. There's a launch event for the book at NYU. You're the first person I'm talking to today.
Thank you. I think we talked about this last time. I'm a graduate of the Tisch School, TSOA, on 721 Broadway at NYU, so I
Okay.
know it well. Good deal. Have a great day. I hope you have 1 million people turning out for that. That's great. You have said that people using AI for erotica or intimate conversations are playing with fire. So talk about the danger about the data as opposed to the morality.
Yeah, so this might be a bit of a Faustian bargain, and that one should be aware of. The data belongs to the operator of the AI, and there are no data protection laws. So, one of the things I advise people in dealing with systems like this is to be prepared for the data to go public, right? So you should only share with the machine information that you're willing for to go public. If you're comfortable with that, that's okay. But that should be like a primary check on your interaction. It's not any different from email, right? You send out emails, you should be willing for that email to go public. Are you okay with that? In which case, write what you need to write. So that's a good sort of sanity check when you're dealing with these kinds of machines.
So if you're having what you believe is an intimate moment with an AI chatbot, and you say, "Oh, I like to be tied up in my wife's stockings and have my socks in my mouth." I mean, there's an image that'll make us all kind of puke. But nonetheless, that information could get out, and it could get out with if you gave them your actual name, that could get out there, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it very well could, right? But there are no laws, right? So the operator of the bot could say, look, we do our best, but we could get hacked. This stuff could go public. Someone could take a look at it and release it. So there are no guarantees about data protection. But there's another issue, which is now you're sharing something about yourself that is incredibly intimate and personal. And there's a lot of information in that. So the operator of the air now knows your deepest desires and tendencies. And is that something you really want getting out there?
At the very least, if somebody wants to entertain that, it sounds like I'm asking for myself. I'm not, I promise. I'm weird, but not in this way. And whatever. If this is what makes somebody happy, God bless them. If
And
somebody, right, go ahead.
I'm not. No. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll
No,
come
I was
back
going
to
to
that
say
later.
if somebody wants to do this and free to do this, should they at the very least be very clandestine in terms of their identity?
Yes, but that is hard to do, especially when you start sharing images, right? You start sharing images, your identity is up there, right? The computer knows who you are. But it just depends on what kind of information you're sharing. And it's become harder and harder to be clandestine these days. It's just, you know, your identity
Especially
is
if they have
hard
to
these
give
days.
if they have to give a credit card, right? If they're giving a credit card, now your name, address, phone number, everything's out there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's harder and harder to find a place to hide.
I mean, technically, if you have a really bad operator, say from another country, they could manipulate you. They could even sell that data back to you. They could say, if you don't want us to talk about you, maybe you might want to give us another $1,000.
Yeah, exactly. There are those possibilities, but I will mention one other thing, Ken, which is that it's not necessary. It's not necessary for the operator of AI to act maliciously for the AI itself to act maliciously. In other words, the operator of the AI could say, get those to your user. And that seems like an innocuous enough objective. But in the process, the AI might decide or discover that the best way to do that is through deception and manipulation, right? Unknown to the operator of the AI. So there is that aspect of the of the machine that people should be aware of. And so the operator of the AI might sort of claim, look, I wasn't aware of this, right? This is something that happened. It wasn't intentional. And at the moment, there are no laws, uh, about who is responsible when things like this happen. And these are some of the things we need to think about that I describe in my book that we're not thinking about at the moment. And there's some urgency to this, especially given the pace at which AI is advancing.
Professor Dar, it's coincidental. At 8:30, we have a tech guy who's coming on, one of our regular tech people. He's talking about the new app that allows you to videotape a loved one while they're alive for 3 minutes, talking, moving, etc., and then it creates basically a robot, an AI image that talks, so that when the person dies, you can have communication with the app forever. I mean, talk about playing with somebody's emotions and what that could potentially lead to. A loved one, a parent who dies, and then you're talking to your phone as if it's your parent and it answers you. How bad could that become?
Ken, this is really a double-edged sword. And AI is perhaps the biggest double-edged sword created by humanity. This is a technology created without a purpose, and now we're finding uses for it. And the use that you're talking about is one of those things which on the surface seems like, yeah, that would be nice. But there's something very dystopian about it as well. And there's a movie on
Hmm.
this, about
Yes,
I don't recall the name,
indeed.
that that gets
Yeah.
into the subtleties and the complexities of technologies like this and building applications
Doc,
like this. Right? It's
Professor, I got to cut you off only because we're out of time. We're about hard commercial coming up. I want to remind people I have the book signing today. The book is called Thinking with Machines: The Brave New World of AI. That's out tomorrow. Make sure you buy it. Professor Vasant Dar, professor of NYU's CERN School of Business and the Center for Data Science. We love when you come on. Have a great day.
Thank you, Ken.
You bet. And we're coming right back.
Hey, New Jersey, want to choose how you live as you age? Tune into AARP New Jersey's new show, The Power of Us. The show celebrates aging with dignity, purpose, and joy. From protecting yourself against fraud, to staying healthy and aging in place, to finding purpose to volunteering. We've got the tools, tips, and stories to help you thrive. Join us on ONNJ and discover the power of us.
Welcome back to New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato, 8:15, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Straight to meteorologist Mike Favetta. We're seeing those rogue flurries already all over the tri-state.
We are. A few flurries coming down right now across Monmouth, Ocean County. Some of them departing already and leaving right down towards Seaside. You see them exiting here out to the Barrier Islands, but there will be a few more flakes running through the northern part of the state, already entering northeastern Pennsylvania and about across the Delaware yet again. Now, couple this with a wind chill that currently makes it feel like 29 degrees in Hackensack, 32 in Newark. That's at 8:15 this morning. This wind chill will drop into the low 20s by this time tomorrow. So yes, it does get colder through this afternoon. Highs struggling to make it out of the 40s. It'll feel chilly despite all the sunshine today. 47 in New Brunswick and chilly even through this afternoon. Look at forecast wind chill by 8 o'clock tonight. It already feels like low 20s for Morristown and Newark, and even oh, this is sad. 18 degrees is how it will feel at 7 a.m. tomorrow in Morristown. 17 in Flemington. Very chilly weather throughout the rest of tomorrow afternoon, with winds that'll be breezy, but not terribly gusty. It's not going to be the 50-mile-per-hour gusts that we had yesterday, but there's just enough of that cold air to pour on down, even allowing for those flurries. You see them right here. That's where the snowflakes came down as they crossed over the central part of the state earlier this morning. The bigger picture showing there's a lot more energy to come, so we might see a few more flakes and flurries through this afternoon. And with the weekend warming up just a little bit, we'll eke back into the low 50s by Saturday and Sunday. Keep the chill around even going into next week. So it looks like we're in this for the long haul, Ken, keeping that cold weather around even into the weekend. There's a few bumps along the way with a little bit of a shower threat by tomorrow night. We'll tell you about that coming up.
All right. Thank you very much, Mike. Appreciate it, sir. 36 degrees right now in northern New Jersey, and it's 38 in Trenton and 38 in Vineland. In terms of traffic, let's go over to I-78 at Diamond Hill. This is still a bit of a slowdown. Not as bad as it was, but nonetheless, still a bit of a slowdown. We had the right lane and right shoulder closed as you make your way around the bend from an earlier disabled vehicle. So that person apparently broke down in the right lane, kind of with the nose to the right shoulder. So as they round that bend, that's the issue there. Folks making their way over to the left, but at least it is moving. We have issues now reported on Route 3. We do not have a camera shot for you, but delays on Route 3 eastbound from 21 in Clifton to the Turnpike, Western Spur, East Rutherford. So you got about 3 miles of slowdown. It's moving about 25 to 30 miles an hour. Not too bad. We have an issue now on 19, the truck route eastbound by 440 in Jersey City. Center lane of 4 lanes closed. It's always bad when you have a problem with the center lane that crash. So that's going to cause all the other lanes to have issues. If it's off to a shoulder or a right lane or left lane, get around it. When it's a center, everybody has to slow down. So that's going to cause issues. We're working on trying to find a camera for that. We have problems as you make your way over to I-80. Take a look at I-80 at Two Bridges Road in Fairfield. This has been bumper to bumper for hours, and that is because of an earlier crash and shutdown of the roadway that has been reopened for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, but nonetheless, the damage was done with all that traffic reported. Your Hudson River crossings right now, it's 35 minutes at the Lincoln. It's 25 at the Holland. GWB upper and lower levels, there was a problem. Let's see. It says your lower level eastbound, all lanes are open now. There was a broken down vehicle that's been cleared, but now you're still talking 45 to 50 minutes making your way into Manhattan by the GWB upper level on the left, the lower left corner where it says mornings, and the lower level on the right, all bumper to bumper. I think people were trying to avoid whatever the Lincoln Tunnel issue was earlier, and this is the result. Everybody jammed over to the GWB. 8:19 in this morning, we are celebrating a sound helped define American music, certainly in the 1950s and early 60s. Well, 50s, certainly. And the artists working to keep alive for a new generation for more than 15 years. The Doo-Wop Project has been touring the country, blending classic harmonies with contemporary style and inspiring audiences from Broadway stages to PBS specials. Now they're at a creative peak with a brand new 90-minute show, Echoes of the Street, coming to the Brown County Music Center in Nashville, Indiana on Sunday, November 9th, 7 p.m. They are on a mission to hashtag Save Doo-Wop, preserving the genre's street corner roots while reinventing it for fans of all ages, from grandparents to Gen Z. And their new album, Echoes of the Street, is out now, featuring their first original song, Ooh Wee, written by Elliot Lurie, best known for the hit Brandy. Joining us this morning is Russell Fisher from the Doo-Wop Project. Russell, great to have you with us. I think we just went 4.5 minutes on your intro. I got to go get some oxygen. Good to good to have you on.
Ken, it's great
You
to be
know,
with you.
you bet. And being an Italian American from the New York area, I mean, this was the heart and soul of doo-wop, So I have relatives and friends who are still very much into doo-wop. I was raised hearing the songs and everything. Probably one of the more common, "This Still the Night" and things like that. This was playing for radios and or record players when I was a kid, so I've
Uh,
experienced it. But for those who haven't, experience you guys, the Doo-Wop Project Live. Describe the sound and the energy of the new show, Echoes of the Street.
sure. I mean, as you know, as you mentioned, we all met doing various Broadway shows, and the one common thread between all of the shows is that they have all this great music from the 50s and 60s, and so then we dialed it back one uh, one genre to the doo-wop genre, and doo-wop, as you know, was inspired by and influenced by rhythm and blues. And
Mhm.
so this music started on the streets of these great American cities of Chicago, Baltimore, Philly, Pittsburgh, Detroit, New York City, of course, the Bronx,
Mhm.
Brooklyn. And, it was just a couple of guys singing on a street corner, guys and gals singing on the street corner, making sounds, replicating sounds of instruments with their voices. And so we really try and um, evoke that sort of sound and pay homage to those groups because we're standing on their shoulders. And so when we were choosing our material, not only do we want to showcase that, but we also took any advances in the Planetones looking for an echo. And that's a song that was written about the doo-wop genre, and we've sort of tailored the lyrics to reflect our experience singing doo-wop together for the past 15 years. So it's really
That's so
unique in
cool.
that way, because it is a uniquely American genre of music. And so we really wanted to honor that with this new album.
I mean, look, we have jazz, which is uniquely American, as you mentioned,
Yeah,
blues, and then
yeah,
doo-wop. These are genres that spread around the world. In fact, it became like an ambassador of the US to the rest of the world because you had kids in
absolutely.
countries on the planet who don't even know English, but they knew the English words to all these great songs because it was entrancing to hear doo-wop, the beautiful harmonies. It's just amazing. You even used to have kids on the corners who used to have competitions, right? They would,
Yeah.
instead of a fight, they would have doo-wop competitions to outdo each other.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. It's so true. It's foundational music. And to your point, we visited uh, Beijing and we sang the Blue Note in Beijing. And even if they didn't know the lyrics, they were still responding to the energy because the music is so fun and so playful, and it's simple in its nature. It's like a
Mhm.
simple formulaic chord progression, and then we layer all of those voices on top of it. It is a really cool genre of music to sing. Always.
It sure is. It sure is. And so many, you had young guys. I mean, there were doo-wop female groups, right? But it was
Yeah.
vast majority guys. It was all singing about girlfriends and breaking up, and
Right.
in many cases, it was trying to impress girls, right, to get girls to pay
Absolutely.
attention.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And
I
so,
love that. And
a lot of the
go
songs
ahead,
in
go
the
ahead.
song
I'm
we
sorry.
chose to nod to that as well. Yeah.
Very cool. What is it about the nostalgia for so many younger people, especially like Gen Z now? They love record players, they love
Yeah.
vinyl, and they're getting into doo-wop too. What is it? What do you think it is about it that's causing that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because we're tracing the evolution of music, and so it's harkening back to a time where there wasn't much to uh, sort of think about in the structure of doo-wop. It was very self-explanatory, and it's very simple, and it's very layered, and it requires locking in, harmonizing, listening to each other. That's key these days, and so yeah, I think there's that hunger for like the warmth and the depth of sort of doo-wop and that sort of analog sound. I mean, I myself own a record player, and I love listening to vinyls anytime I can. Also, listening to an album, front to back is something that's so rare these days when you can stream music. But I also think that, yeah, this generation's starting to connect the dots, and so hopefully with our group, we're helping facilitate that by taking, as our bass singer says, contemporary songs and doo-wopifying them. So giving them a doo-wop twist where we're taking contemporary songs, we're taking today's hits, and we're tailoring it to the doo-wop genre. And we have a lot of fun doing that. And that's why we
Very
call
cool.
ourselves a project. So we're taking like Michael Jackson's The Way You Make Me Feel, Jason Mraz, I'm Yours. I'm trying to think of other examples. Most recently, we've done Taylor Swift song. We've done Shake It Off because Shake It Off is a bop. And so we try and
Sure.
take songs that already lend themselves to that genre. And then we sort of brainstorm how to make it sound like doo-wop.
I love it. And you have your own original called Ooh Wee, right? Or is it Oh Wee? Written
Ooh,
by Elliot
ooh,
Lurie of Brandy fame. Oh Wee? Is it Brandy as in Brandy? You're a fine girl. What a good child you would be.
bingo,
Is that the song? I was
bingo.
a disc
You got
jockey back then. I used to play that. Wow. So now, how did the collaboration with him come together? We only got about 30 seconds left. If you could wrap in 30 for me, I appreciate it.
absolutely. Elliot Lurie heard us on Spotify, and he reached out to our management team, and he emailed them and said, I am still writing, and I wrote a song about doo-wop. Would you care to
I
sing
love
it?
it.
Maybe you'd like to
I
tackle it.
love it.
And Sonny Palladino, our musical director, took it and worked out a little vocal arrangement for us. It was pretty much all laid out, and he did it, and we laid it down in the studio, and we are just so grateful that we
Well,
were
you
able to
guys, you have shows coming up in Stony Brook, Staten Island, here in New Jersey at the Strand Theater.
That's
What
right.
is a website so they can get more details too?
Sure, yeah. We'll also be at the Pollock on West Long Branch on February 7th and Paramount Hudson Valley in Peekskill, New York on Saturday, April 25th. But for all the tour dates and all the info, you can go to our website, www.thedooproject.com.
I love it. All right. Thank you so much. Here's Russell Fisher from the Doo-Wop Project. Please come back again and have a great time with your shows. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks. Appreciate you, Ken. Take care. Have a good one.
You bet. You too. We're coming right back. Good morning. It is Monday, November 17th, 2025. 36 degrees northern New Jersey, 38 in Trenton at 8:30. I'm Ken Rosato. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. Could be a shower this morning, be a rogue flurry, partly cloudy, windy today, highs mid-40s. Straight to meteorologist Mike Favetta now. Good morning, Mike.
But still, Ken, the forecast sounds good. That's the important part, right? Because today we are welcoming our new weather sponsor, Audio Nova, specifying the importance of hearing and keeping your hearing. Again, we'll be interviewing audiologists over the next few weeks and kind of giving you the important parts about keeping your hearing, because that is very important. You heard the wind rustling the leaves last night all across New Jersey with the gusts anywhere from 20 to 30 miles per hour, even at this hour. Well, it's breezy off down the shore today with temperatures that will stay in the 40s, maybe make it to 50 in Avalon and Cape May, but that's still below our average high of 55 degrees. With a few of those snow flurries coming through and exiting early this morning, there are more rounds on the way. So you can anticipate another flake or flurry today. They're so widely scattered, they don't even show up on the futurecast. But into tonight, however, that cold, that'll be digging its heels in and letting you know that winter is around the corner with a few showers that come in tomorrow night, exiting by Wednesday morning. It's a brief sprinkle that I think will primarily be out of our hair by Wednesday morning. Can be likely just wet roads on leave left in its path. But beyond that, it's the cold and the wind that sticks around for the next several days, with temperatures just struggling to make it back into the 50s. Chilly all around the Northeast. Here in New Jersey, no exception. A few of those showers coming through and then exiting predominantly South Jersey. With the clouds that linger through Thursday into Friday, might get a few more breaks of sun until another shower comes in for Friday. So the 7-day forecast, yes, has a lot of cold air around. Temperatures not leaving the 40s until Friday, where it comes with some rain, and then back into the 50s by Saturday and Sunday, with that cool weather remaining into the upcoming weekend. The short points, a little bit heavier on the cloud cover, maybe get to 60 on Friday, but again, comes at a price with a little bit of wet weather to wrap up the weekend.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. It is 8:32 right now, and we have 35 degrees. Northern New Jersey, 38 in Trenton, and a lot of traffic to talk about. Let's go over to I-78, local lanes westbound, east of exit 56, Elizabeth Avenue in Newark. There is a crash in the center lane, and that's causing problems to the lanes to the left and the right. And you can see right there, big slowdown as folks are making their way through there. That's again I-78 local lanes westbound, east of exit 56, Elizabeth Avenue, Newark. Center lane of the 3-lane closed, causing about a mile and a half of backups. We have problems now on 1 and 9 truck route eastbound by 440 in Jersey City. The center lane, again, the center lane issue of 4 lanes is now closed. We have problems making your way now to, did we do 70? Yes, we did. Let's go over to the approach to the Holland Tunnel. This is Route 139 into the Holland Tunnel, and it is stopped. So you see those 2 lanes that are making your way into the tunnel. That is absolutely stopped. We're told right now, it says here that there could be a breakdown. They haven't confirmed, but there could be a breakdown in the tunnel, one of the tunnels. So that is making your way into Manhattan. Now they're saying it's going to cost you 35 to 40 at the Holland, which is a long time. That doesn't usually happen there. Lincoln Tunnel, we also have 35 minutes making your way in. And we look at the GWB upper and lower levels. It's been a mess all morning, especially the lower level. You'll see on the right side of your screen, there was a breakdown in the middle of the span, which has since been cleared, but things look like they're not moving at all. So the lower level, they're now saying 50 minutes in. Upper level on the left looks about the same, although they're saying that's going to save you about 5 minutes. They're saying 45 on left, which is upper. Again, lower is 50 on the right. So just an absolute mess in Manhattan today. Our time is 8:34, and imagine a deceased loved one coming back to life through AI. A relative you only had memories of speaking with you on a daily basis through your phone. Brand and digital strategist Fisher, who can be found on X and Threads with username @Fisher and through his website, fisher.media, joins us now with more. Good morning, Fisher.
Good morning, Ken. Yeah, Disney Channel actor Caleb Worthy and Hollywood producer Russell Geiser co-founded the AI app Two-Way, which allows users to create interactive avatars of deceased relatives using only 3 minutes of video footage. The app generates avatars that can simulate conversations and interactions based on the deceased's speech and movements captured in this short clip. The app is promoted, and this is the promo that's running on X right now. The app was promoted via a viral X post, which you're seeing right now, featuring an emotional ad showing an expectant mother engaging with her late mother's AI avatar across family milestones. Now, the promo actually continues going to the son that was born interacting with the grandmother as well. And the promotional video has amassed over 22 million views on X. The company's slogan, with Two-Way, 3 minutes can last forever, emphasizing the memory preservation. Now, while it's currently free to download the app, that is, during its beta phase, Two-Way offers premium features like enhanced avatars and digital items available for purchase. Features include pre-built avatars like William Shakespeare, a chef, an astrologer, a trainer, and weekly editions of celebrities, icons, and superheroes. The launch obviously sparked intense backlash, with thousands of critical replies labeling the concept dystopian and ethically fraught. Detractors argue that the app exploits grief for profit and could hinder healthy mourning. They do have partnerships with IBM, and the app is currently being used in 300 schools across the UK for the William Shakespeare reference that I mentioned. The company does position Two-Way as a tool for artists to regain control over their likenesses. Born from the 2023 actor strike, enabling fans to engage without replacing human creators. It definitely is creating quite the buzz, Ken. Now, for fairness, you can currently take a picture of a loved one, living or deceased, run it through AI, and create a mini video from it. So that is possible currently. This takes it to the next step. And it is not as much in watching the promo, and this is also one of their avatars here, who's an actress, as she says in promo. I'm looking down at it as you're all watching it. But an actress that obviously video was taken, and then this promo was created out of that video. So it isn't as much taking a person who you haven't interacted with as it is me coming to you, Ken, and saying, hey, I need 3 minutes with you, and then holding the app and recording the 3 minutes. So while it seems creepy and weird, it is something that is intentional by the people involved. But it definitely is quite the deal. And the point of them having a trainer, and I mentioned an astrologer and all that, and I'm sure there'll be a clergyman and all, is that you could use this app to talk to relate, to ask questions. Now, again, it's based on the back of AI. You and I have had long conversations, both on air and off air, about AI, for good, for bad, for accuracy. You had told a story about how you asked about Trump and said the former president, and you did this just in the past month. So obviously AI has some problems, but this is the world we're living in, and it is odd. I agree, being able to carry grandma around on the phone like that and talk to her like she's on the phone in FaceTime or Google Hangouts or something like that, or a Zoom call is weird. And then again, that's the son that was born from the expectant mother. So to have the grandson talking to grandma, years later, 10 years later, and having a conversation, and actually that is him talking about his own baby being born with his partner. So
Yeah.
it's
I
strange,
watched
but it's
I
out there.
watched it. I watched the promo several times. It is undeniably extremely well done, and it will get you. It'll lure you in. I had thoughts. I thought maybe we should check it out. Uh, we all have loved ones whom we wish or friends, loved ones, whomever, whom we wish we could, we wonder what they're thinking in heaven. And it's
Mhm.
sort of in a creepy way. It's like if you allow your mind to wander, you could say, well, maybe it is, influence from beyond talking through AI to me. It reminds me, I don't know if you remember, because I'm a little older than you, Superman, the original Superman, right? When he took the crystal and put it in
Mhm.
and saw, his father talking to him, talking
Yep.
about what his purpose on Earth was, and it was imparting wisdom. But yes, you're right. We talked about in the past what this, with the influence of the internet, every time I ask a question online, no matter how I phrase it, from a political perspective, it always comes back to me from one side, and it isn't the
Mhm.
side that I'm looking for. It's always the opposite side. So it is clearly one side dominates the internet, and that comes
Yeah,
through
and it
with
is
AI.
important that AI is powered by the internet. So your
There you
answers
go.
now again, their premise in talking, I think this is more of a not a salacious video, but more to gather interest in the app, right? Of this video for this purpose. Their purpose again is to have a trainer and all that, so you can ask questions, so you can have the trainer next to you as you work out. That's understandable. But again, as I did a story about this a couple of weeks ago about Meta putting in restrictions for teenagers and kids using bots because they start to influence your child. This is no different except for adults, and we're supposedly, be able to think past it. But, you know, how grandma starts influencing you from the from the future, from the past, whatever it is, through the AI.
I'll give you a perfect
In
example. Perfect example. A woman could be saying, I got pregnant, I wasn't expecting it. What should I do? And if
oh,
grandma
true.
is getting data from a left-wing website, you could have, oh, I just abort the baby. And
Yeah,
if it's coming from a right-wing website, honey, you should never abort the baby. This is where it gets very hairy, and it hangs on the
yeah,
morals. We had Bill, we had a doctor, professor, on just a while ago. And he was talking about how when you give too much of your information, these bots, that could be hacked. That information
100%.
is being stored. It could be hacked. And it may not even be the company's fault. If somebody hacks
Hmm.
in, they get your data, now they know all your intimate information. So think
Agreed.
very carefully before getting into bed with something like this. Did they announce any kind of launch time for this, Fisher?
It launched in a beta manner, so it's two-way, 2WAI. It's available on Apple, and Google is on the way.
Did they say how much the shuttle, how much they're talking about?
Right now, it's free in beta, and then they'll roll out plans as it goes forward and they build up. They really are looking, I'm assuming, more for data. So by the interactions, to see how things work out, and they'll build it forward, and then they'll have a way for you to pay.
It is amazing, amazing how where we're going and how dangerous it can become. Brand and digital strategist Fisher, found on X and Threads with username at Fisher, and through his website, fisher.media. Thank you for coming on as always this morning.
Thanks.
You bet. And when we come back, the holidays can be a stressful time for parents to keep cool while getting through it. Could be a shower this morning, maybe a stray flurry, windy, partly cloudy today, highs mid 40s. We're coming right back.
Hey, New Jersey, want to choose how you live as you age? Tune into AARP New Jersey's new show, The Power of Us, the show that celebrates aging with dignity, purpose, and joy. From protecting yourself against fraud, to staying healthy and aging in place, to finding purpose through volunteering, we've got the tools, tips, and stories to help you thrive. Join us on ONNJ and discover the power of us.
Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato at 8:45, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Could be a shower this morning, maybe a stray rogue flurry, then partly cloudy and windy, highs mid-40s. Straight to meteorologist Mike Rosato with the Garden State forecast. Good morning, Mike.
You've taken the term and just run with it, right? It's fancy.
Loving it.
Rogue flurry. Because, yeah, you might find a sparse flurry here or there, helping to improve the drought situation because we've had a little bit of rain. Almost every night, it seems. Another shower passing through the places where it's needed the most, especially in northwestern New Jersey, where the severe drought continues, primarily for Sussex County. The rest of the state seeing an improvement with the rainfall deficit, only less than 1 inch of rainfall now, as opposed to average going in the last month or so. So the dry weather prevails today. We have some rain that comes in late tomorrow night. Again, another nighttime shower, but exits by Wednesday morning. And in its place, another round of chilly weather remains. So while it's sunny today, we do not leave the 40s. It'll stay cool in northern New Jersey. You see a lot of red, though, coming in for the end of the month into early December. There is the potential to have slightly above average temperatures for the first part of December, which would be nice, considering how cold it's been. The dry weather, however, should remain. The 7-day forecast has a chill in the air, at least through the next several days. Don't make it to the 50s until Friday. Even that comes with some rain, this time during the daylight hours, holding in the 50s throughout Saturday and Sunday. The shore points slightly milder, with temperatures reaching 60, again with rain by Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday should clear out with highs in the mid-50s, Ken.
All right, Mike, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you. It is 8:47 right now, and we have a temperature of 36 degrees northern New Jersey, 38 degrees as you make your way down toward Trenton. Those little awkward pauses when Mike is finishing his weather, that's because Pam, our director, and I are plotting traffic in background. So that's why we're trying to see what's going on on the roadways. And if we go to the Garden State Parkway right now, exit 135, you'll see what we're talking about. We just found this mess with breakdown. This is northbound, north of exit 135, Central Avenue in Clark, with the left lane blocked. You can see right there. I don't even see emergency vehicles on the scene yet. So we're getting that before the. Oh, there he goes. He's on the other side. He's trying to make his way around. Good call, Pam. Thank you for that. So yeah, sometimes they get their way. He probably went to the other side because he was able to get there first, but that's causing a mess. So again, this is Garden State Parkway. Yeah, those three, it looks like the three had a collision together, three-car collision. So that's, again, Garden State Parkway northbound, north of exit 135, Central Avenue, Clark. Left lane is blocked. It's causing some delays on the other side, southbound side, but it's mostly on the northbound side. So beware that as you make your way through there. We have problems on 1 and 9 truck route eastbound by Route 440 in Jersey City with the center lane closed. And right now, if you make your way to the Holland Tunnel, there is a mess on Route 139 into the roadway. Look into the tunnel rather. Look at this. It's stopped. And when I tell you it has been stopped like that for the last half an hour, 40 minutes, I mean those people have not budged. So that is Route 139 into the Holland. Usually we don't have that problem in the Holland. It is stopped. So it's going to cost you a lot of time. They're not even giving us a time estimate on how long it's going to be. So if something's happening in the middle of the tunnel, just beware of that. Over to the Lincoln, it's 35 to 40 right now. And the GWB upper and lower level, there was an earlier breakdown on the lower level, but both the upper and lower are bumper to bumper as well as we switch over to the camera. You can see the lower levels on the right. That's actually moving much better than it was. There was no movement there 15 minutes ago. So maybe they cleared that disabled vehicle. You can see the upper on the left, much better too. So they're just still telling us it's 35 to 40 minutes, but it's much better than the 50 minutes that we reported on 15 minutes ago. 8:49, the holiday season is often portrayed as joyful and picture perfect. For many women and mothers, it's actually one of the most stressful times of the year, from new moms trying to create that holiday magic for the first time to seasoned moms juggling traditions, travel, and expectations. The emotional load tends to fall heavily and sometimes exclusively on them. I'm sorry, not to stereotype all the guys, they just leave it up to mom to handle everything. Well, last year, the U.S. Surgeon General sounded the alarm about the mental health of parents, especially mothers. And this time of year, clinicians say they consistently see a sharp spike in stress, anxiety, and burnout. So this is a big deal. So with us this morning, we have two experts who work closely with mothers and families, Dr. Jessica McCarthy, founder and clinical director of Element Psychological Services, and Kara Kushner, LCSW, a social worker and perinatal mental health specialist and founder of A Work of Heart Counseling. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us, Ken.
You bet. And speaking as somebody who proudly tells everybody who asks, I have been to therapists and psychologists many, many times over my life, and there is nothing to be embarrassed about. And you should be able to say it as proudly as you would say you went to your general practitioner for a flu shot. There's should be no stigma behind it. We often hear that holidays are magical, right? Especially for families, but for many moms, that magic comes with enormous pressure. So, either one who'd like to pick this up first, what are you seeing in your practices this time of year?
I can certainly speak to that as somebody working really focused with new parents as well as moms and different seasons in general. This is probably one of the most stressful times of year. You've made it through. You have school-age children through the new beginning of a school year, and you're trying to continue to make magic happen. But really, around this time of year, it's all about what are we going to get? What is everybody getting as toys? What's happening? And then also, what traditions should our family have? How do we keep it going? And it's a time that's very tumultuous for new moms, especially because there's those expectations of what it's going to look like. And that's what we see for moms in general, I think, across the board is the feeling of expectation, whether it's from social media, from peers, from friends, family. There's a lot of feeling of I'm supposed to or I should be doing it this way, and trying to help families navigate that is a big conversation topic that we have in our offices here.
You bet. And for Dr. McCarthy now, the Surgeon General recently highlighted the mental health crisis among parents, especially moms. So how does that warning show up for you during the holiday season in your mind?
So the holiday season is actually one of the most difficult times, not just for women and families in general, but especially for women who are in relationships that have domestic violence, whether that's physical abuse or emotional abuse. The holidays is one of the times that mothers want to try to keep the normalcy, preserve the sense of tradition and happiness, when in fact it's actually one of the most dangerous times for women and families because of increased substance use, isolation, pressure, stress, a lot of the things that Kara was talking about. And excuse me, there's a reason why January is actually called divorce season, is because some of the stress and the mental load that women who have been in these disruptive and destructive relationships comes to a head, and they ultimately take the opportunity of the new year to leave.
And how about the opportunity, if you will, to dabble too much in substance? We go to parties, we're stressed, we say, you know what, I'll have that extra glass of wine, or I'll have, if we smoke marijuana, whatever, take an edible because you need it because you're stressed out. That can lead to something. Obviously, when there's an exorbitant, an inordinate amount of stress on a parent. Kara, we'll talk to you about that. Have you seen that? And do people then start to get stressed? And when should they really be worried about substance and overuse of substances?
Sure. I think there is certainly a normalization of substance use during the holidays, whether it is having a drink or a cocktail with family and friends. And with the legalization of marijuana, we see an increasing utilization of that in families. And it's normalized in social media culture as well around utilizing edibles, things like that. But I think that there's a difference between having a drink and enjoying something with a family member or partaking in celebration and self-medicating with substance or using substance as an escape, which is something that we will talk with families about, unfortunately, sometimes that it becomes overused or it becomes a crutch because there are underlying needs or issues that are not being addressed. And it becomes then the way in which they're coping. And there are other ways they can manage that. So anytime that it feels like it is the only out, it feels like it is something where there's question around it, or you're noticing a loved one's consumption is questionable, it's time to reach out. There's no necessarily best time to do it, but we want to do it before it becomes a problem, ideally, and start to notice those signs. And it really is a fine line between fun and where this is no longer functional.
I'm with you 100%. I used to weigh 360 pounds. I'm 180 now, but I used to reach for alcohol and I used to reach for food. I mean, addictive behavior is addictive behavior, whether it's food, alcohol. People don't think, they think, well, alcohol shows a weakness. Anytime you have to use something to cope, that's a challenge. And so I'm with you. And it's so easy to just start on that spiral where you say, oh, you know what? I have a party today. I'll have 2 drinks here. I'll have 2 drinks there. Before you know it, you're having drinks all day. And then it makes it a little easier. And then you're at home. You're like, I'm going to have one more nightcap. before you know it, now you've raised the bar, if you will, and you keep going, and then it's hard to come back from that. Uh, Dr. McCarthy, too, single moms and divorced moms kind of experience the holidays differently. Talk about the unique challenges that each faces during this time of year.
Yes, as a divorced mom myself, I've been divorced for almost 5 years now. It is an incredibly, sometimes actually peaceful time because some of the stressors and the difficulties that you faced in marriage are no longer there. But it can also be an incredibly, incredibly stressful time for single parents. The increased financial pressure, the increased pressure to make the magic, the increased pressure to kind of follow traditions that may have previously existed, wanting to prioritize the children while still dealing with some of the underlying stressors that can carry over into a divorce dynamic or a co-parenting dynamic. Um, the holidays tend to exacerbate that. It's a time that's rife for comparison, whether it's to other children's and families, what we see even on television in terms of what the standard of a normal, happy, healthy holiday season looks like, and even what a normal family might look like. That pressure can lead to um, you know, not just difficulty in terms of how women are coping, but how that may trickle down to the children as well. The pressure falls on the mom to make magic happen. If mom is struggling, then the children are going to feel that as well. And then we certainly don't see magic during the holiday season.
Definitely. We got about 30 seconds left. I'm just going to ask Kara really fast about women who are domestic abuse victims and what the holidays mean to them and how people around need to support them differently.
There's so much pressure, I think, for DV survivors to navigate this season from the lens of, continuing with, like Dr. McCarthy was saying, what was the norm before? And so anything that can be done, which is why Dr. McCarthy and I have teamed up to create an initiative for these moms and these families, is around their ability to feel a sense of normalcy, which is something that is lacking for these moms during this season. So people who could create a sense of acknowledgement, safety, and really access to things that help them feel normal.
I'm sorry, I wish we had another hour on this. Dr. Jessica McCarthy, founder and clinical director of Elements Psychological Services, Kara Kushner, LCSW, and perinatal mental health specialist, founder of A Work of Heart Counseling. You both do such essential work. Thank you, and happy holidays to you both.
Thanks to you, Ken.
You bet. And we're coming right back with a special segment on Kane University.
Hey, New Jersey, want to choose how you live as you age? Tune into AARP New Jersey's new show, The Power of Us, the show that celebrates aging with dignity, purpose, and joy. From protecting yourself against fraud, staying healthy and aging in place, to finding purpose through volunteering, we've got the tools, tips, and stories to help you thrive. Join us on ONNJ and discover the power of us.
Yes, we have a special segment we're doing here at 9 a.m. Monday, November 17th, 2025. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. Bonus block. We'll call it the B squared. I'm Ken Rosato, taking calls at 888-658-0234. My camera and teleprompter right now are saying, no, no, it's time for break. No, it's not. Partly cloudy today, windy, highs mid-40s. Could be a rogue, or as we like to call it, a rogue flurry. Let's head to meteorologist Mike Pavetta with a check of the Garden State forecast. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. Could be some raindrops in there this time Wednesday morning, given the wet weather that comes back in, but it doesn't exactly warm up all that much. We're still holding right around that 40-degree mark statewide. It's the wind chill that makes it feel so much colder. Those gusty winds making it feel like 30 right now in Sussex, even 35 in Newark. That is a solid 14 to 16 degrees colder than this time yesterday. So a few of those flurries that zipped through some part of the state earlier today. Another flurry or flake expected there in the northwestern corner, working its way right down through Union and Essex counties before the day is through. Plan on clouds to be around, but I think we still get a healthy amount of sunshine through this afternoon. You can see with the futurecast, mostly clear skies, but a few, again, flakes or flurries could fly with those clouds that move on through. Then with the rain that comes in late tomorrow night into early Wednesday morning, giving us a very brief shower, primarily during the nighttime hours, and then we wake up to wet roads by Wednesday morning, but still it'll feel chilly. Temperatures in the 40s throughout the middle of the week. We'll tell you more about it, including a check of the week's weather ahead and the weekend, Ken. It's coming up in a few minutes.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Let's take a look at the traffic we have. We do have traffic in the area. We should mention 4 degrees is our temperature in northern New Jersey, 38 in Trenton. Still chilly this morning. Let's go over to the Garden State Parkway if we can right now. We have a crash with property damage on the Garden State southbound at exit 105, which is Route 36 in Tinton Falls. Partial ramp blockage. Do we have that? There we go. There it is right there. So, I see the property damage you're talking about there. So they must have smashed into, you could see the railing on the right. That's when they call it property damage. That's what it is. So they have to repair that, or else if another vehicle hits that, that could be somewhat of a mess. So clearly they have to repair that. So that's on the Garden State Parkway, Tinton Falls, partial ramp blockage. Also on the Garden State Parkway, northbound, north of exit 135 Central Avenue in Clark, the left lane is blocked due to a crash there. There is a crash on 1 and 9 truck route eastbound by Route 440 in Jersey City. The center lane is blocked, and your approach to the Hudson River right now, your Lincoln Tunnel approach is a mess. 40 minutes going across or through the Lincoln Tunnel. The Holland Tunnel approach is just a mess too. Do we have 139, Cam? Maybe we could show that, Pam. 139 has not moved for 45 minutes. This is the Holland Tunnel approach, Route 139, if you could pull that up, because it is just a mess, just to illustrate how bad that is. Usually the Holland Tunnel is a reprieve, and this is not moving at all. Is it a yes or no, Pam? There it is. Thank you. I told you. It's not moving at all. That has literally been the case right there. That almost looks like it's a still shot. I don't mean to laugh. That has been the case. Those people have been sitting there for about 45 minutes now without moving. And they're not telling us what's going on mid-span, or not mid-span, but mid-tunnel, but I'm sure there's a crash or some kind of a broken down vehicle causing that. But that's going to cost you, they're not even telling us, I'm guessing 45 minutes an hour right now. There's no telling how long it's going to take to get that moving. That's your Holland Tunnel. GWB, much better. It's now starting to move 30 to 35 minutes, upper and lower level, 80-95 approach. The lower level, you can see normally, there it is on the right, upper on the left. That's going to cost you, like I said, about 40 minutes, but 35 minutes. Much better than it was earlier when it was 50 minutes and not moving at all. It is 9:04. History in the making at Kane University. The women's volleyball team is NJAC champions for 2025, sweeping Stockton University 3-0 in a dominant performance Saturday night at Harwood Arena. With victory, head coach Don Perkins and his squad punched their ticket to the NCAA Division III tourney, and bracket drops Monday at 1 p.m. on ncaa.com. Coach Perkins joins us live now. We say, Coach, congratulations to you. What an accomplishment.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You must feel amazing. Take us inside that final point. What was going through your mind at that point when the ball hit the floor to seal the 3-0 sweep in the NJAC title?
We played Stockton in the championship game of 2017, and we were up early, and then they came back, and I just kept thinking like they're going to come back, and they beat us in the regular season. So it just it didn't seem possible that we would get through in three. But the girls stayed focused, had great energy the whole way through, and Kaylee hit that ball to end the match, and it's all kind of let loose. We had accomplished what we've been talking about all year.
So, what was the key adjustment, if there was one, if you will, that your team made to shut them down in straight sets?
Yeah, we lost to them in early October, and our offense was fine against them. It was our defense that we needed to work on. So we've just consistently been working on that since that game. I think that's made us a better team throughout the second half of the season. And we weren't sure if our defense was going to hold. Their offense is really potent. But our girls could not have done a better job. It was just a special day. And, everybody on the court had a good day.
To see that for sure. And that's the word team, right? With everybody taking part to make that happen. The automatic NCAA bid is certainly huge. How has this group grown from the start of the season to put yourselves in a position for that deep postseason run?
I think it started last season. Last season's team, I think, had just as much talent, but for injuries and other reasons, didn't come together. So I think this year we knew not to take anything for granted. We've the girls, the preparation, the participation in the athletic training room, in the weight room. They've really done every aspect of it, not letting any opportunity pass. And that started months ago. So this season they've known from the beginning that they have the ability to do this. Then you have to make it happen. And this was a really competitive year for the NJAC. We had 3 teams in the top 40 at one point. So any bad day, even just a little slip could have cost you big. But these girls stayed focused. We were the one that made it through, and we had 5 seniors who were awesome. We have some underclassmen who really stepped up and played huge roles. It's they've stuck together with whatever came. The first priority has been to have each other's back and make sure that the team came first, and the team was ready to do this.
Clearly, they all played very well, and I know it's hard to single out anybody, but talk about some of the standout performers that the Cougar fans need to know about.
Yeah, people come watch us play, and they see Ashley Torok, our freshman from Woodbridge. Kaylee Elena Morrison is our middle hitter from Elizabeth, who are both outstanding players. And then it's our setter who runs the offense, Aspen O'Brien. She's a senior from Chicago area, and she is the conference player of the year. And she just makes everybody around her better. It's the 3 of them have really been remarkably consistent and led the way this year. But like I say, it's up and down the roster. We've had injuries and whatever, and somebody got to step up, and players have come in and done the job. So it's 1 through 16. We've had a really strong performance, and you have to single out some people, but at the same time, it's almost feels wrong too, because everybody's done their job so well.
Wow. And the talk about the message to your team, what the message is now, if you will, as you wait to see what the NCAA bracket reveal is. Talk about the message that you'd like to impart to the team.
You mentioned history before, and I think that's the thing is that, Kane has been to the NCAA tournament, I think 8 times. We've never won a game in the NCAA tournament, but I don't think we've ever been the favorite either. And right now we are going to be likely to be probably a 3 seed or so, which means we should be the favorite in the first round. That we have the opportunity to do something that no Kane team has ever done before. That's kind of what we're focused on right now is to win a game or 2, or win a game and then take it from there and see how far we can take this. We have, some, like I said, we have players that are going to be tough to match up with for any opponent, and we've beaten some really good teams this year. And hopefully, we get in there and we can make an impact on the tournament, not just show up and that. If the tournament is a celebration and it's an achievement, it itself it is. But I think we have the ability to impact the tournament, and that's what we're looking to do.
Talk about the support that you've gotten from the university and also from the fans and how important that is.
Number one fan is Dr. Epaulet. The president of Kane University was at practice on Friday, giving the girls some motivation, and he was there start to finish on Saturday. He's been to some games, even road games. Kelly Williams, our athletic director, has taken a huge interest in the team from early on in the season. Our event staff at Kane is wonderful. Our athletic training staff is first rate. So I think it's the girls are the ones that do the job and play on the court. But like you say, the support to be able to accomplish something like this goes dozens of people deep.
And where do you see the team going, the progress, et cetera, down the line? What's the future for Kane University women's volleyball?
Yeah, well, like I said, we have some great seniors, and they're going to graduate 5 really special individuals. I think the bright spot is Kayleigh Morrison is a junior, Ashley Torok is a freshman, Vicentino is going to be a senior next year. Annabelle Valencia is still going to be with us, and then the freshman class. Some of them haven't gotten as much opportunity as they maybe deserve because of the talent's hot. But we have some really good players coming back, and I'm hoping we can make this an annual event. I'd like to go back, for a few years at a time if we pull that off.
Well, you sure have all the makings for it. Kane University women's volleyball head coach Don Perkins, congratulations again. Thank you so much for coming on this morning.
Thank you. Have a good morning.
You too. It is coming up on 9:12 right now. 36 degrees northern New Jersey, 40 degrees in Trenton. It's 41 degrees now in Vineland and 40 degrees in Cape May. Meteorologist Mike Favetta says could be a shower this morning. It's happening in some parts. Even maybe a rogue flurry, then partly cloudy, windy today, highs in mid-40s. And that is on New Jersey Mornings for your Monday, November 17th, 2025. I'm Ken Rosato. Remember, you could stream us on ONNJ.com, Roku, Fire TV, NewsOn, Samsung TV Plus, Apple TV, YouTube, Facebook, and X. And we're also streamed live on Substack, Rumble, Twitch, and now Local Now. If you've never gone to Local Now, it's a great aggregate channel. You get all the different TV channels from all over the country, and we're prominently displayed right there. We will catch you again tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Tell all your friends about us if you love us, and if you didn't like what you saw, keep it our little secret. I'll give you $1. Till then, have a great day. Thanks for watching on New Jersey Mornings. See you again tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.